at the same time, the cause comes first. I don't know what I'm talking about, but man, I am dedicated on this subject. Let me know in the comments right now what you thought about episode 8 of Andor, because you know what? I'm this is a different episode so far, so let's go talk about it. Hello, beautiful human, and welcome to Kick Up Flicks. We're gonna start off with Meero real quick because she's taking charge and running with it. Not only does she have a name, Cassian Andor, but now she wants a whole bunch of money to go to Ferrix and just listen to intel and just, boom, gonna find everybody. She's gonna crack the case. And listen, if she don't come up with something for the one person named Axis that she's looking for, she's done. She's done. People are gonna come after her. I don't know how she gonna live. Right now, she's risking her job. But one thing I really did love was the meeting between Meero and guess what? My boy Karn over here that's obsessed with Andor, and I don't know what kind of way. But instead of going after his boss that literally betrayed him to get him fired, no. Let's put that evil man aside. Let's go after the one dude I know that actually killed somebody and says, I found him in 2 days when everybody else just kind of gave up, when it was almost impossible. That's what Karn did, right? Meero don't care. She just wants to find Axis. But when he finally got asked, what information can you tell me about this other man? Literally nothing. Dead in the water. And he's over here falsifying reports, trying to report Andor for everything under the bus, using his uncle's business and putting bad representation on his uncle. I mean, think about that. His uncle has a reputation, but he over here putting false information and reporting him to the Empire, and it ain't getting nowhere. He just getting shut down. But yet Uncle don't say nothing. Why? Because he's just ignoring the annoying nephew right now. I mean, come on. I want to ignore him. In fact, I just want to feed the guy because he looking a little parched. He looking a little hungry. Because he look a little skinny. Now, I'm not trying to body shame him at all, but the camera angles just weren't working for him. I don't know. Either that, I just didn't necessarily like his scene too much, and how he had a motorboater for the Empire. I'm just, whoo, boy, let me tell you something. And the funny part that he said is that Cassian Andor has organized accomplices on Ferrix. No, he didn't. Where? Where was the organization? Literally, you came down with a whole 12 people to come arrest Andor, right? And guess what? The people of the planet don't like you there, so what are they going to do? They're going to do what they got to do to get you off or get you to go away. However, everybody just does blame Andor. But at the same time, I think that was just Bix being upset, because if everybody was upset at Andor, they would have done giving him up in all his aliases and names and stuff like that. Has nobody said nothing about Andor whatsoever at all? And no one's reported him, nothing. Everybody's dead silent for the most part because they're just trying to survive and deal with the Empire. But that might end up changing just a little bit. But either way, I'm just saying, for the most part, everybody has it under control on Ferrix. But there is no organization that I see so far. If you see it and I miss it, let me know. Because what I understand from Meero at the present time, where she is kind of understanding, she's taking Ferrix, Axis, Andor, and the Resistance and combining it all to one, and says, listen, if you get one, you'll get them all. You crack the case, boom, Empire saved. But as we know, that's not going to happen in the future. Anywho, let's move on to Andor real quick, because listen, I swear this man has served time before. I'm pretty sure they said that sometime earlier in the season. He has a record, that's definitely for sure. But either way, I guess he hasn't served in a prison like this, because after he got shocked, which is, by the way, the best scene I have seen yet, when they all got shocked and they got into this wonderful dance move and they all just like shaking the way they were. I really did like it. That was like great. I don't know why. It just looked funny to me and I enjoyed it. But either way, after that, everything that happened with Andor within all those scenes was a little weird. Now, primarily because I understand that they have to be barefoot. I understand that they trying to sell some boots, those big boots with the, the highlighter orange on there. I get it. But let me tell you something. I'm not a foot person. I get that they have to be barefoot. How many shots of feet do you need to show me for me to understand that their feet on that floor is dangerous? I get it. I get it 100%. But the look of fear on this man's face after he got shot and trying to understand where he's at, and he's thinking to himself, how can I get out, when he's presuming the position and looking everywhere, and they keep telling him, look, I thought they were going to cattle prod him just at least once so he can get shocked not once but twice in this episode. That would have been enjoyable for me because the look on his face was really good. And when he gets to meet his new boss, Kino, oh, Kino take charge. You don't mess with Kino, and especially his time, his food, and flavor, because apparently they don't get much of anything. And he's trying to get out of jail. And look, I don't know how they leave this prison, because I don't think it was ever meant for them to ever leave this prison, because it looks like a top secret planet that nobody knows about. I'll be honest with you. I highly doubt anybody leaves except for in a body bag in this episode. Truthfully, or not just in this episode, any point in time, because the days you have to serve in this prison is literally, it's not even a prison, it's called a work camp. Let's call it a work camp. He is at a work camp and he ain't getting out at the present time, because I'm trying to figure out how they're getting out. Unless he can get one of those little buzzer things and take the boots off all the guards, I'm not too sure how they're going to do it. But either way, right now he's just a working drone. Now, one thing I did like about that whole entire thing, when they finally got into like the main area where everybody's working, is that they took the time to show you how everybody is just working like a drone. One after the other, they're trying to race. You don't know what they're racing for, but you know that there's a consequence, that they don't want to get fried. That's the only thing that's moving every single one of these gentlemen to work as hard as they're doing. Because if you end up last, you get fried. And since you're battling every other floor, that means one floor twice a day is being fried. Now, I don't know if it's a fried number 1, fried number 2, or fried number 3. It looks like if you reach number 3, you ain't making it at all whatsoever. 2, we haven't seen yet. And 1, we know it hurts like a Dickens. So that's something we got to take into account. And I just kind of like how they brought you into that environment to show you what life is like. Very little communication, very little time to look around and figure out how to escape. And on top of that, when they were, I don't know if they were getting in line to go back or if they were switching shifts and whatnot. But one thing I really did like is when Andor took the time to see that man that was kind of like doing like hand movements. I literally thought, kid you not, that he was kind of going insane and was like still working, like, and then all of a sudden they showed the other guy and I realized, oh wow, they're communicating. And I thought they created their own sign language that makes it look like they're still working or just kind of going insane, so therefore the guards will never question it, and they pass all kinds of information. And I'm trying to figure out how they're getting all this information to each other. But that could eventually lead to a very good riot one day, and I think that's going to come down the line eventually. Well, I hope it does, because if not, it's going to be very boring. One thing I do wish they did add into the episode, though, I'll be honest, the one thing I really do wish that they add into the episode is when they pulled Kino off to the side and they say, oh, this is kind of like a speed run, y'all need to hurry up. Whoever ends up last, there's going to be a consequence. I wanted to see what the consequence was. I feel that if we would have been able to see the consequence or see Andor suffer the consequence, it would have added why after 30 days he became so compliant to make sure it never happened again. I think that would have added a little bit stronger like reason for him to like temporarily not think about escaping, because after 30 days, I mean, that's a lot of days. And on top of that, 2,189 days, you ain't ever getting out. You're not getting out. I don't know how days work on that planet, but if it I don't know, it seems like it's 24 hours still, but I'm just telling you, that's just horrible. You ain't going nowhere. And the same thing, drinking and eating from a tube, and at least they clean your quarters for you. That's the benefit. It is clean. But to do the same thing in and out and see the same colors, dressing the same thing, seeing the same naked men over and over and over every single day, and their shower is so weird. It's like a steam. I wonder if it works. It's probably just a spray just to make sure it kills all the smells and bacteria on the surface of your body, and then they go and get dressed for the whole entire day, sweat. But I only think they only do that at the beginning of their shift, so that probably means they go to bed sweaty, which is kind of nasty to be honest. But either way, it is what it is. But with this new order that they were talking about, that they brought up to Andor, and Andor just really didn't know anything about it. Why? Because he's dumb as a box of doorknobs. I have no idea. There's nothing inside this man's head, or either that he just wants to stay negligent because he wants everybody to leave him alone, but they're not doing that either. PORD, which is the Public Order Resentencing Directive, where they get to double your sentence as they want, whenever they want, and it includes unlimited surveillance and prosecution without limit. Oh my goodness. And this is called public order. Where's the order? I mean, this is oppression. And in fact, that's how you know everybody that's in this, working camp right now, they are never getting out. Why? Because there is no limit to how long they can consistently extend their time there, because everybody's just going to go insane. Because either way, you got two options. Either you're going to work until you pass out and die, or two, you are just going to, do what that other man did in the middle of the night, which we're not going to really talk about. Now, after leaving the exciting part, we got to spend some time with, of course, Vel and Cinta. Let me tell you something. Cinta loves me some Cinta. Vel, way too emotional and attached. I am so glad she got put onto a ship and went somewhere else, because I was like, you're just too emotional for me right now. Cinta says, listen, I am a mirror. I will be what you need, but that's just about it right now. The first thing that comes is the cause. After the cause, everything else will fall into a line, and it doesn't matter what she has to say to make sure she survives or make sure that her mission gets accomplished. I love it. She's the one person that is staying on track, and she is dedicated. It's great. It's not like Vel. Vel's on the other side. She's dedicated to the cause. Yeah, sure, why not? But at the same time, she's looking for that love, which is dangerous, because guess what? If you have love and somebody grabs Cinta and they're torturing Cinta in front of you, you spilling the beans. So what does Vel become? A liability to me. And I don't like it. I like me some Cinta. She'll sacrifice anybody, because guess what? Her family don't exist no more. Why? Because the Empire already took it. So why does she want to create a whole nother one when she knows she has a lot to fight for? She's trying to make the vengeance of her family, hold up the honor for her family, not really just trying to find new love. I mean, yes, they love each other, great, but at the same time, the cause comes first. I don't know what I'm talking about, but man, I am dedicated on this subject. But either way, they're going for Bix, and Bix messed up by kicking out Andor off of this planet and making them feel like complete shit. And guess what? She about to eat some shit too, because guess who has her now, which is Meero. So I don't know if Bix is going to give up information. She doesn't look like a type of person that could be very tight-lipped with some torture, especially if other people are being tortured. So we'll see what's going to happen, because she's not highly trained. And that, this is getting interesting. The Empire's starting to take over. Things are starting to get more aggressive, and everybody's feeling the pain. What do you think? I think Palpatine's going a little hard, though, and I can't wait to see him if he ever pops up in this episode. Either way, that's what happened in the episode. I kind of enjoyed it, minus the feet. Other than that, it was really kind of good to see what they were building and whatnot. And let me know what you think they were building. I think they were like parts for a ship, but either way, let's see. And let me know down in the comments what your favorite part is. What do you like about the story so far? Where do you think it's going to end up? Anything at all about the episode or the season so far. And don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button, click the bell notification when you do subscribe so you won't miss anything. On top of that, you're helping me defeat that algorithm 100%. And most importantly, above everything else, don't forget to kick up and not down. I'll see you the next time I post. Peace.